Yo guys, welcome back to Cryptoria. Today I'm going to be covering Storj, but before I do, I'd appreciate if you like, subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you know when I upload. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. So what is Storj? Storj is an open source cloud storage platform. It uses a decentralized network of nodes to host users' data. The platform also secures hosted data using advanced encryption. People with hardware space with good internet connectivity can participate in the network. They become a unit of the network called a node. Space providers are rewarded by Storj tokens. So just before I do jump onto CoinMarketCap, I do want to just cover the abstract section here, which is on the white paper, which I'll leave in the link below as well. So as you guys can see, it does say decentralized cloud storage represents a fundamental shift in the efficiency and economics of a large-scale storage. Eliminating central control allows users to store and share data without reliance on a third-party storage provider. Decentralization mitigates the risk of data failures and outages while simultaneously increasing the security and privacy of object storage. It also allows market forces to optimize for less expensive storage at a greater rate than any single provider could afford. Although there are many ways to build such a system, there are some specific responsibilities any given implementation should address. Based on our experience with petabyte scale storage systems, we introduce a modular framework for considering these responsibilities and for building our distributed storage network. Additionally, we describe any initial concrete implementation for an entire framework. So that's just the abstract section of what Storj is about. So jumping onto CoinMarketCap, as you guys can see, the ticker name being Storj, currently ranked over that 150 mark, currently 130, so it's doing really well at the moment. I will be going over the website in a bit as well. Currently the price is doing really well at the moment, up 18% over the last 24 hours, currently circling just underneath that $1.90. Current market cap, as you guys can see, is over 655 million. Diluted market cap is just over that 750 million, and current circulating volume is over 3 billion. Going over the chart very briefly, as you guys can see, it did have that massive surge back in 2018 to around that $2.50, and did unfortunately dip below these 50-cent marking thread. As you guys can see, it did even dip down to the lows of around that 10-cent region, and if you did pick up there, you would have accumulated such huge profits at the moment that did surge all the way past that $3 mark until where it is at the moment. In terms of where you guys can buy it, best place definitely being on Binance, as you could trade against the USDT, but you could trade against these other exchanges as well. So guys, I will be jumping over onto the website now. So I've jumped straight onto the website. As you guys can see, Storj, private cloud object storage for developers. So going down, you go ahead and check out and see the 150 gigabytes free they actually give you, and you could start this off for free as well. Going down, your data decentralized. With Storj, decentralized cloud storage, files aren't stored in centralized data centers. Instead, they're encrypted, split into pieces and distributed on a global cloud network. I'll show you how it actually works in a second as well. So secure, every file is encrypted, split into pieces and stored on a diverse nodes, making data breaches a thing of the past. This decentralized approach also protects your data from malicious attacks. Going down to private, default encryption is standard on every file. Everything is encrypted before being uploaded. Your data is only your hands and those you share it with. So it's very obvious that if it is private, it is up to you guys. And if you want to keep it to yourself, make sure you keep it to yourself. Or if you trust someone, make sure they don't actually give out to anyone as well. So available, due to our decentralized network of storage nodes, your data is multi-region by default, always available when you need it, and can scale with your project as it grows. Going down to your performance, Storj DSC download speeds are equal to or better than major cloud providers. In fact, our fast speeds are default instead of an upgrade. In terms of S3 compatibility, Storj DSC works with the tools you already use and deploys in minutes with drop-in S3 compatibility. And open source, where open source and always will be. We take this transparent approach in all we do as a company. We want to jump in, look at our code, do it. We also have an open source partner program to help companies through revenue sharing. So as you guys can see, it's open source. You go ahead and check out what these guys are coding as well. In terms of store your own data around the world, we don't own or operate a single data center. Instead, Storj DSC takes advantage of our massive global storage of nodes that enables unparalleled security, privacy, availability, and cost savings. So you can see all these stats here as well. It was updated fairly recent as well. So all of this is updated to date, fairly recent. Works with your existing stacks. Storj DSC has a robust developer toolkit and a number of integrations to help you build the next groundbreaking application. So it works with FileZilla, Fastly, Firebase, and Duplicati. So that is pretty much what these guys are up to, and you can obviously start here for free, join the community, monetize your project, and host a node as well. In terms of what these guys are actually doing and how it works, have jumped onto the how it works session. I will be going over the steps. So as you guys can see, step 1, objects are encrypted. Storj DSC automatically encrypts all files before being uploaded. Your data is only in your hands and those you share it with. So can Storj see the data I store? No, files are encrypted, split into pieces, and stored on geographically diverse nodes, making data breach a thing of the past. So they're very on it for in terms of how everything's encrypted, and make sure your files are very safe as well. What kinds of encryptions is used? Every file is encrypted using AES 256 GCM symmetric encryption. This is a standard on every file before being uploaded to our network to ensure no unauthorized user can access it. So that is what the encryption they use. Why is it important? Only you should own your own data. A file on Storj DSC can't be accessed without keys or permissions. Everything is encrypted before being uploaded. Your data can only be viewed by those who granted it. So that's the importance of it. Can I provoke privileges? Yes, you can have complete control of your data and can give and take away permissions at any time. So that is pretty much in terms of your encryption and in terms of step 1. Step 2 comes to encrypted objects and split into smaller pieces. After being encrypted, each object is split into pieces that are indistinguishable from any object pieces. This also gives your data constant availability. So how many pieces do files get split into? Each file gets split into 80 pieces, and retrieving a file only requires 29. Each of the 80 pieces is stored on a different node, all of the different operators, power supplies, networks, and geographies. So that is how the file gets split into. While files are split up, splitting files yields unparalleled performances and durability. Our decentralized architecture offers improved out-of-the-box security and privacy to our customers and enables more reliable performance than traditional cloud storage providers. And is Storj DSC secure? We like to think of it as a completely new standard for data security. You don't have to trust us, that's just how it works. It's what we call trustless. We've taken our trust of the equation entirely. We couldn't read your data even if we wanted to. If someone else wants to access your data, they will need to first constitute your file from the network, already a tricky and complex task without strict authorization from a system. Then we'll need to break the AES 256 GCM encryption, which protects the world's most sensitive data and classified information. Is not going to happen. So if you want a more secure file storage, guys, this is it. In terms of step 3, as you guys can see, object pieces are globally distributed. Pieces of an object are individually stored over a global network of storage nodes. An object is never in one place. Outages, downtime, and data breaches are a thing of the past. So where are the nodes? Our global network is made up of 1,000 nodes. Currently over 10k nodes are being hosted in 84 countries. How many nodes are files stored on? 80. We split each file into 80 different encrypted pieces, and each piece is stored on a different node. How are nodes selected on a store on object pieces? Nodes are chosen by reputation and local latency. We select reputable nodes at random, weighted by a network diversity. Then we attempt to upload to a larger set of those selected nodes. The fastest nodes from the set are chosen to store files. So that is step 3. In terms of step 4, objects are retrieved when you need them. When you retrieve an object, only 29 of its 80 pieces are needed to reconstitute that object. with no central point of failure. Your data is always quickly available all over the world. So how many pieces I need to retrieve the file? To retrieve a file, only need 29 encrypted pieces. Whatever node goes offline, one node going offline won't impact any files. Our network automatically repairs this process, reacts to many pieces for its files are lost, and repairs them within a very healthy margin of safety. So that is the steps in terms of where these guys are going. I will leave the link below as well, guys, in terms of where you want to see this as well, in terms of why you want to choose Storj. As you guys can see, why customers choose Storj. So the privacy, security, trust, and transparency. I already mentioned the steps, but if you want to go check out this video, go ahead, check that out as well, in terms of what they do and how they do it as well. As you guys can see as well, the leadership team as well, you can see the CEO, founder, C2, and so on. So they're very transparent in who these guys are and in terms of what these guys want to do in the future. And honestly, guys, I think this is very good as well, especially if you want to store a lot of stuff, you know, virtually. You make sure that it is very secure, and these guys want to do just that. So I will be jumping onto the price analysis now. So guys, yes, what everyone's been waiting for, the price analysis. So guys, I do want to give you a proper in-depth analysis of Storj and seeing where this is going to head to. So I have jumped onto the monthly. As you guys can see, there was that all-time high around there, around that $3.90ish. As you guys can see, I did mark it out there. So what I've drawn out here is where I think price is going to be heading to. So this great little box here shows a little level of zone where support is being held. So as you guys can see, strong level of support here and here was stored around that dollar mark. So it was being held around there, around that dollar mark. And I have drawn out this Fibonacci level, as you guys can see, and I do think it's going to be heading back to these highs around here very soon. As you guys can see, it has stored that, you know, that dollar mark region around that support level, and it has been keeping that level of support very strong. So for these months here, as you guys can see, has been very bullish apart from this month, but it has created that level of support over here as well. So what I think is going to be happening in the next month or this month is either just going to be, you know, surging straight across, crossing these level of 100% levels around that all-time high, or it might be retracing, creating another level of support around that 61.8 level, around that Fibonacci retracement I did form over here before going up, you know, maybe reacting to this resistance over here around that $3 mark before creating level of support and going up towards these targets initially is what I'm thinking, around that full retracement level towards that 1.27, 1.141 level, which is around that $4.50 to $5 region is what I'm thinking initially. So this is what I think in terms of long term. Of course, guys, it might fully retrace and, you know, ignore this sort of pattern, this Fibonacci, and just go back towards this region here, but I don't ever see it dropping below this dollar, just because I see, you know, a lot of strong support being held here, and especially in terms of what these guys are doing as well, I don't ever see that ever dropping below this, and it hasn't ever dropped below that dollar apart from these 2 months here, and it actually did you know, stay below that, but it did create those level of strong support. So that is what I think. So the long term, have jumped on the monthly again, and I have drawn out these zones for this sort of analysis. So I've drawn out this resistance here around that $2.90 region, a zone around here around this resistance here around that $1.50, and that resistance turning support around that, you know, 75-cent level. So what I think is going to be happening is either going to be, you know, ranging between these level of zones here, or it's going to be going here, you know, maybe reacting here, maybe retracing back into the zone before, you know, going completely bullish and going breaking this level of zones, breaking this level of highs and going toward that $5 region, or it might completely break below this, breaking these level of supports here and ranging between that, you know, 75-cent to that $1.50 region before, you know, doing something in the long run. So that is what I'm thinking as well. So either going to break out completely, you know, going berserk and going towards that $4, $5 mark, or it might be ranging for a while before it going completely berserk as well, is what I'm thinking in terms of the long term. Jumping onto the weekly, as you guys can see, I have drawn out these trend lines, very strong level of trend lines as well. So this over here, this upward trend line is touching it twice. So what it might do is touch it that third time over here, or it might completely break above, retesting it, creating the level of support where the resistance level is, and then going towards that high and going completely beyond that level as well. Or it might do is retrace back down to this trend line here. As you guys can see, this first time, touch second time, and might touch the third time before reacting before going like this. So it might be ranging between these levels here. As you guys can see, there's loads of resistances around this level here, so just be aware of that. It will be reacting to those levels as well. So that is what I'm thinking for that second scenario. Or the third scenario is completely breaking that level and reacting to this long trend line here, this very strong one here. So touch once again twice, so it might be breaking that level, touching this before ranging between these level of trend lines, completely going berserk after that. So that is what I think of the weekly scenario. Jumping onto weekly again, have drawn out these zones this time. So the level of strong resistances over here, so around that $2.90 level, that $2.20 level, that $1.70 and then $1.20 levels where I've drawn out these resistances. So just last week, in fact, as you guys can see, has went completely berserk from around that $1.20 to around that $3. So if you did pick up then, you would have made a nice 3x nearly there. So that is what I'm thinking. So I do see, you know, this level being, obviously, as you guys can see, has pretty much corrected itself, but I do see this gap being filled up as well from where it is at the moment to that high around there. I do see this gap being filled, so it needs to break these level of zones. If this candle completely finishes above here, I see it going back up, but if it finishes at this, I do see a bit of a range between these levels here. So if it does range between this, I'd see either a breakout towards here or breakout down here. If it closes below here, I see either ranging between here for a while before going back up. So that is what I think in terms of weekly as well. Jumping onto daily, I have drawn out this project, as you guys can see from that yesterday. In fact, that massive surge, 125% gains if you guys picked up from that $1.30 to around that nearly that $3 mark is what you would have gained. So there was that downward channel and it has broken, and you know, it completely went mental. So that is what happened. I have created that, you know, that little zone there, that strong level of support that did form around that $1.10 and did just completely break. So if you did manage to do, you know, stick by this sort of downward channel rule, as I did show you guys in the past, you would have made massive gains, massive gains if you guys, you know, picked up yesterday, in fact. So it has broken this level of resistances here, and as you guys can see, it does look like it's retracing back down. So what I see happening, I'm still on the daily, is as you guys can see, I've drawn out this Fibonacci level. So what I see happening is either retracing back to this zone between that 61.8 to that 78.6 level, and you know, create that level of support before going back up to these highs initially, so around that $3 mark. So from where it is at the moment, around, you know, a 2x, rough 2x level. So that is what I see happening. So hopefully what it does now in the next couple of days is create a level of strong supports around this region before going back up. But obviously guys, this might not play out. This might be the scenario as well, completely breaking that and completely retracing what these happened over here. So, you know, mirroring what this these couple of days have happened as well. So it might just completely break, you know, and just go back to these regions here, back to that dollar mark, before creating a level of strong support and then going back up. So that is what I think, some, you know, the short term and fairly short term, I guess, and the long term as well. So let me know what you guys think. If you think this you know, project is very good, if you guys are holding it, if you guys knew about this project a long time ago, let me know. I'd love to see your comments as well. So guys, I'm gonna wrap that video up here. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on bell notification for all future videos. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video.